We're getting in pictures of Lalu Yadav on his way to the ED office with daughter Meesa. Lalu Yadav to face ED team shortly. RJD workers meanwhile have camped outside the ED office in Patna. Tomorrow Tejashwi Yadav has been summoned before the ED. He will be appearing before the ED. And these are details that we have with us right now. News tightening around the first family of Bihar, essentially, with the RJD chief and Tejashwi Yadav as well, who have now been summoned by the ED, Enforcement Directorate. And he is now, Lalu Yadav was on his way to the ED office with daughter Meesa. There are a huge number of RJD workers, the Karyakarta, that were gathered outside the Enforcement Directorate office. Aditya is getting us more details on that story. Aditya, give us a sense of what is expected today, given that Lalu has appeared now before the ED for the questioning.
Well, exactly. As far as today's kind of events is concerned, of course, you can clearly see in visuals that RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav has arrived at the Office of Enforcement Directorate here in Patna, and you can clearly see that his car is now being surrounded by a sea of supporters who are here just for a glimpse of their favorite leader. And also, we happen to talk to a couple of supporters to try to understand what sort of a protest or a solidarity support is it. So they categorically said that they are not against any agency or somebody, but then they are here to express their solidarity with their Supremo. And you can clearly see that this is the level of enthusiasm that is now being displayed by the supporters, and this is the reason the cars and the cavalcades and their drivers are finding it very difficult time to get Lalu Yadav inside the campus. You can clearly see how the supporters are actually thronging the entire place, and there is not even an inch of place to move the vehicle. You can clearly see that the entire road has turned into a choker block, but then the enthusiasm is exhilarating. Back to you.
All right, these are pictures, in fact, of Lalu Yadav along with Meesa Bharti, who headed to ED office, where RJD workers are protesting. Aditya continues to be with us. Talk to us about the kind of arrangements that have been made, given that there could be a law and order situation with such a huge crowd of workers that gathered at the ED office.
Indeed. I'll tell you what, people and supporters started gathering at the Office of Enforcement Directorate right since the morning, but then as the time arrived of questioning of RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav, the numbers swelled multiple times. You can clearly see that the numbers have swollen exponentially, and the entire place is actually thronged by RJD supporters and RJD cadres, and they are here to express their solidarity with their party Supremo, and they are here to express their solidarity. You can clearly see that chantings are being made in favor of Lalu Prasad Yadav by the supporters as his car and his driver struggles to find space to enter the campus of Enforcement Directorate. You can clearly see in the visuals that the entire locality has turned into a choker block, and not even an inch of space is available on this particular locality. And almost even you can say that individual movement, people cannot even walk. The traffic is obstructed, but then you can clearly see the level of enthusiasm in the supporters out here. Back to you.
Right. RJD boss Lalu Yadav to face questions from the Enforcement Directorate. These are pictures right now of Lalu Yadav. You can see along with daughter Meesa. They've reached the ED office in Patna. Many workers of the RJD showing their solidarity. This is the land for job scam that has come back to haunt the Yadavs. It's an ongoing investigation. Aditya, talk to us a little for our viewers about this particular scam, the allegations also that they are facing, even as we stay with these pictures of Lalu right now inside that car. They've reached the ED office. Aditya.
Well, exactly. As far as the entire proceedings and the investigation in the case is concerned, of course, this entire case is related to the tenure of Lalu Prasad Yadav as the Union Railway Minister. We've been given to understand that this is the same case in which not only Lalu Prasad Yadav, but then several of his family members, including Tejashwi, Rabri Devi, Misa Bharti and his other children are too embroiled. But then this is the level of enthusiasm that in the crowd here that is not allowing him to get inside the campus, and you can clearly see that whatever be the outcome of the investigation, the supporters of Lalu Prasad Yadav are here to stay and stay with their leader, expressing their solidarity for Lalu Prasad Yadav. You can clearly see that the sea of crowd of supporters is of a level that Yadav inside the campus.
That's the ED office essentially in Patna. That's a zonal office, and these are pictures of Lalu Yadav's car right outside the ED office, and workers of the RJD in fact are there right now, refusing to let him move. Essentially, he's appearing before the ED along with daughter Misa in connection with the land for jobs scam. Aditya is with us for more details on that story, but these are pictures of in fact chaos. Aditya, if you can hear me, in fact the last time around also, and not just the last time, several other times when Lalu or in fact the other family members have been summoned, there's been a show of strength by the workers in this fashion. Did the police here not anticipate this situation?
Well, exactly. Of course, the local police expected, of course, sort of turnout by the RJD supporters, but then the level and the magnitude of the downpour of supporters out here, you can clearly see in the visuals, of course, is something very unprecedented, and this is the reason that the law enforcement agencies are finding it very difficult. You can clearly see in the visuals how hard the policemen are trying to push, but then the sea of crowd is here to stay and of course unwilling to relent. You can clearly see how difficult it is for the local police to ensure movement of the SUV car used by Lalu Prasad Yadav to apply to the Office of Enforcement Directorate, but then there's not a single inch so that the car can move and take Lalu Prasad on the campus of Enforcement Directorate. Back to you.
All right, heat on Lalu Yadav and his family. Not just Lalu Yadav, Aditya. Tomorrow, Tejashwi Yadav is also appearing before the ED on the 9th. Former Chief Minister of Bihar and wife of Lalu Yadav, Rabri Devi, daughters Hema, will also in fact have to appear before a court in Delhi, isn't it?
Well, exactly. As far as the information transpiring from Enforcement Directorate sources is concerned, of course, Tejashwi and other family members too are set to appear, but then they are given different dates for their questioning, and today is the date of questioning of RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad Yadav, and you can clearly see in the visuals that Lalu is sitting very calmly and he's quite composed as he sits in his SUV, and is now, you can clearly see the door of the SUV opens, and now he will have to walk down to the Office of Enforcement Directorate because the car is not able to move due to the sea of supporters that is thronging the entire locality. You can clearly see
Lalu Yadav on your screens right now. Lalu Yadav there, appearing before the Enforcement Directorate. These are pictures on your screen right now of Lalu Yadav appearing before the Enforcement Directorate. Visibly frail, not keeping well, and aging Lalu Yadav appearing before the Enforcement Directorate. A day after RJD lost out in the state of Bihar, where Nitish Kumar of the JDU dumped the RJD and the Congress to then join hands with the Bharatiya Janata Party to form a government in this state. Lalu Yadav appearing before the Enforcement Directorate. These are pictures of Lalu Yadav on your screens right now, visibly frail. Lalu Yadav in fact walking to walking into the ED office to answer questions in connection with the land for job scam.